That brings me to my next point. You can actually enjoy nightlife in China. And I'm not talking about drinking at a club until 2 a.m. I'm talking about walking anywhere in the city at any time and feeling completely safe and relaxed. Nowadays, in many cities in the US, even as a man, walking alone at night isn't just uncomfortable, it's actually risky. Whether from guns, whether from drug users, or just the various homeless encampments. And China accomplished this in a few obvious ways. First of which is surveillance. China has over 600 million cameras that watch every street, every subway, and every crosswalk. Some Americans cry about this, but I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's called the Hawthorne effect, which is basically that people behave better when they know they're being watched. We all know this inherently, and this benefit is not lost on the US, as the US has actually been ramping up its camera advances over the past few years as well. And the second major thing is China has many laws that it actually enforces. For instance, guns. No guns are allowed to be owned by civilians in China. And in terms of violence, it's not tolerated in China. In fact, they have these little placards everywhere saying fighting is not allowed, the winner will go to jail, and the loser will go to the hospital. They're quite humorous, but they're also quite serious. And in terms of drugs, again, zero tolerance in China, and they have very serious consequences. But in the US, it's a different story. We have a trend of decriminalization in various states. There is known recreational abuse of illegal substances all over the place. And finally, theft. I remember when I first went to China in 2010, all of the bikes around Fudan University were old and rusty and nasty. And I asked people why, and they said, well, because there's thieves everywhere. But now that's not the case at all, because of the surveillance of the cameras. Conversely, in the US, there's recently been a lot of backlash against the police, including defunding, and therefore they're under-allocated in a lot of places. Recently, in places like California, police will not even respond to reports of theft if it's under $950. And I think the biggest difference in the nightlife between the two countries is something in China's culture called yexiao, and it's where everyone and anyone gather on the sidewalk of these restaurants at 2, 3, 4 a.m., enjoying comfort food, having a cigarette, chatting, drinking a beer, and just relaxing and enjoying the public space. It's very communal, it's very inviting, and it's an entirely different experience than what we have in the US. And being in China more and more, you realize that freedom isn't just speech or protest or voting, but it's freedom to come and go freely at any time you want and enjoy a safe environment and a healthy environment. Which brings me to the next point that surprised me even more. You can't